Hi, today I want to show you how to create a team meeting in Teams, and I want to show you how all of the features in it and how to set permissions. So if we start here, we're in Teams. I'm in the calendar setting. I'm going to go up here to the drop-down menu and I'm going to choose schedule a meeting. Now, once we're in here, we have some options. We can choose a title. We can invite specific people. And with that, we also have up here, we have response options. So I can request that they respond whether they're going to attend, and I could allow them to forward that meeting or not. So just to be aware of those options, they're up here at the top. Then you can choose your date, your time. Does it last all day? Do you want it to repeat? Do you want it to repeat weekly, monthly, daily? You also have here the option that if you would like it to post it to a channel. So you can choose a team that you belong to, choose the channel, and it will post to that channel. You can also include here your agenda or any other notes that you would like to become part of that meeting. Once you have the meeting set the way you want, you're going to press send and it will go out to those attending or get posted to your meeting. Now, I want to show you once a meeting has been created, you can choose to either join it or edit it. I want to show you what it's going to look like to edit. This is where you're going to set your meeting options. And this is where you're going to get a lot of control. Now, meeting options does not show up until after you've created the meeting. So here's that response options I showed you earlier. This wasn't there next to it. It's only once you create the meeting. So we're going to go to meeting options. And I'm going to show you what you have available to you. So once you have here, you can see when you're creating your lobby, do you want to let everyone bypass that lobby? Only people in your organization or trusted organizations, people in your organization, or only me? You want to set it to only me because that is going to give your attendees the least amount of permissions. If you set it to any of those other choices, they will be able to mute and unmute other attendees. They will be able to remove other attendees. If you select only me, that gives you the control and they will enter as an attendee and they will only be able to show their video of themselves, talk, mute, and unmute. Their options will be limited. Now, the good part is if you need to change them, you're not locked in. I'm going to show you once we get in there where you can do that and change these if you need to. I like to set it for only me as well with the presenting. Again, you can change that once you're in there. Then you want to save your meeting options. And then we're going to go now and join a meeting. Let me close out of this and I'll go into that meeting. I have a demo student in that meeting with me. Now, I want to point out here before joining, if I had my camera on, you would see this little square light up. And this is where you can choose your background settings before you go into a meeting. Once you choose your background settings, they'll stay that entire time you're in the meeting. Whether you're on camera or off camera or alternating, you won't have to reset that every time. So now we'll join that meeting. And here you can see I have a student in there already. If we look at participants, you're going to see here I'm the presenter and the organizer. Then we have attendees. Oh, we've invited someone else. They haven't joined. Across the top, you're going to see the time. Now, that's the time someone entered the meeting, the first person. It is not necessarily the time you began recording. Now, over here, we have options. This is how you can unmute yourself. If we hover over a student, anytime you see these three dots in Microsoft, it means that there's a menu. Here I have the option to pin them, which means their video will stay visible no matter who's talking versus it popping back and forth to different people. You can make them a presenter. So that's what I was referring to when we were looking at the options. You can change these once we're in here if you need to. And then this is where you're going to remove them from a meeting. If you do not have those lobbies set up, when you remove that person, they will be able to come back into the meeting. Then here we can go now look at chat. Oh, I apologize. One more thing in here I want to show you. Again, at the top, you have some options. If you forgot to set your permissions, you can go back and do that from here. So when you have the option to set your permissions when you create the meeting link, but if you forget, no, it's up here at the top. And then this is also, you can download an attendance list, a report. It's going to create an Excel file and it's going to show the student or attendee's name, the time they entered the meeting, the time they left the meeting. Now, right now, you have to do that while the meeting is going on. They're coming out in the next month or two where you'll be able to do that after a meeting has ended. So look for that feature to come out. They're also working on a hard mute. It's also scheduled to roll out with that. And the hard mute will be that you can mute everyone and they will not be able to unmute themselves. Right now, you can mute everyone, but they can also unmute themselves. If we move over here to chat, this is where you can have conversations, you can share, insert links. You really have a lot of options. Again, here's another menu. You have a lot of things that you can include in here to enrich your meeting. You can attach files. You have GIFs and emojis and stickers. So many things to make it fun and engaging. If we go over here, this is our raise hand feature. And if we raise your hand, you'll see that you're going to get a little bit of a notice over here, and it'll tick up with numbers the more people raise their hand. The fun thing that it also does is it will list them in the order in which they raise their hands. If we went back over to participant, it would show the order in which the participants raise their hand. The organizer can also lower someone's hand if needed. Under this menu, we have some options of device settings, meeting notes. Now be aware, meeting notes will be visible to everyone. They're not private meeting notes. Here's your details. If you needed to quickly copy the link and send it to someone, that's in there as well. Then down here, I want to show you have gallery. Gallery is where you can see that 3x3. Large gallery mode is where you're going to see the 7x7. And then together mode is where it's going to put all of your images in a really fun background. I've enjoyed using that when I'm in meetings. Check out, I'm going to include a link in the tab for you to go see that. I want to show you though, if you're not seeing that large gallery and together mode, I want to show you where you can engage that and get that on your menu. Be aware though, large gallery mode, you need 10 people on video. So each 10 people have to have their video on for gallery mode to work. I'm going to minimize this and I want to show you where you can engage that and set that up. So I just clicked on my profile picture. Then what I'm going to do is go to settings. And you can see here, it's the second from the bottom. Turn on meeting experience. New meetings and calls will open in separate window. Requires restarting. So you want to check this and then restart your teams. And then that's what's going to give you the availability to see all of those new features that are out. If we go back to our meeting, let's go back to that menu. Focus. Focus is great too because it is going to let whatever's be shown be enlarged, and it's going to hide, distractions. Here's if you need to fix your background, go ahead, turning on captions, and then here's where we're going to start the recording. If you need to turn off incoming video, what that means when you engage that, if someone is presenting a video, it will not get shown to you. And the benefit to that is if you're struggling with bandwidth, it will not create such an issue that it kicks you out of the meeting. So if someone is struggling with bandwidth, that is something to consider that maybe they need to engage that. Screen sharing. When we screen share, we get some options. So here you can see it include computer sound. You want to always include computer sound if you are going to show videos. Here you have a choice of your desktop. I always present in desktop. That way I can bounce between a browser screen, a PowerPoint, and I don't have to keep sharing and unsharing windows. And then here is where you're going to launch your whiteboard. When you launch whiteboard, it is going to launch an individual whiteboard for everyone in the meeting. Now, with the caveat, they must be logged in with their school email. If they are not logged in their school email, it will not launch for them. That is all here again under your options for sharing. The last feature I want to point out to you, we're going to stop that sharing. Hang on. There we go. Leave. If you just click leave, it is going to not end the meeting for everyone. It is just you leaving and the meeting continues. You want to use this drop down and you want to choose end meeting. When you end that meeting, it kicks everyone back out into that lobby so that they cannot continue in the meeting. Now, I've had some teachers say that they've had issue with students continuing the chat after the meeting happens. So, what you need to do is you can reopen the meeting. And I apologize, it does not kick everyone into the lobby, it just shuts down the meeting link. What we're going to do next is kick everybody into the lobby. If they're still chatting after your meeting, open the meeting back up because as the organizer, you can do that. You're the only one that can enter that meeting. And then you can remove students. So what you would do is if they're still chatting afterwards, go back into the meeting, click your participants, and you're going to remove them from the meeting. That's what kicks them into the lobby, and they will no longer have access to chat. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. My contact information is in this OneNote.